Mental training. A lot of people think this is only going to help just one athlete at a time. Yes, it's very important at that one on one level, but the truth is, mental training can succeed people's expectations at a scaled level. It'll help the one on one athlete in the pressure moment, but then it's also going to help the team respond together and have a team camaraderie. It can be a part of that bigger culture across the entire school, the club, the program. And today we are going to look at mental training across these three levels using one simple exercise. So how you can bring it to your individual athlete, to the team, so the coach, and then bring it to the program, bring it to the AD, the director of the program, the school, the club. And this exercise that we're going to use to help understand it all is a physical reset called Snap Out of It. If you're new here, my name is Gabe Rummel, founder of the Mental Performance Playbook right here, brought to you by The Athlete's Health, where we are delivering you mental exercises from top level athletes and putting them into these actionable exercises for you to apply immediately. The goal here is to train the mind just like you are training the body for that strength training, but for the mental side of the game. Now, each week on this episode, we have a theme of the week where we are breaking these down. And this week, it is the three levels of mental training. We have the individual level, the team level, and the organizational level. Other times, we will have guests on here. So please, if you're liking this, give it a 5-star, or if you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the show. Show this to someone else who should use these mental exercises, who you think this would help them out. But without further ado, let's dive in. And of course, we have to look at the first level of the individual mental training, because yes, this is where that mental training is going to start. And with our exercise, the snap out of it, this is going to help. This is going to help us talk with that individual athlete, help us game plan the specific situations where we probably need to snap out of it the most, where something's holding them up, whether it's before the game and nerves, whether it's right before, whether it's at the start of the season, whether it's in the middle of the game and the performance, whether it's at the end and when it's over. At some point, we need to snap out of it, because it is going to interrupt that mental spiral. It's going to be frustrated after a mistake. It could be the nerves before the game. It could be after game and just constantly thinking about the 2 shots missed, or that arrow that was just left, or the goal that we let up. But it makes that moment affect the next one. So this physical reset, right? Because we have endless options of these mental exercises or skills that we can use. So we're using the snap out of it as this physical reset is literally either snap, snap. If you have a rubber band, snap. Somehow we are using this snap as a cue to get that last moment gone, snap it away, and snap ourselves back in to the new moment. The power here is it's simple, it's physical, and it's immediately, or we can apply it immediately. It is an immediate exercise that we can do. So at the individual level, we are game planning this, going over the specific situations of how we need to implement this, when we're going to use it, making sure that the athlete is coming up with this so they are going to implement it. That is the first level. Let's look at level 2 now. This is that team mental training. Yes, this same exercise can be shared across the team. See, I was just at a conference this last weekend, and this came up over and over again. It's actually came up at almost every conference I've been at, is when you do this with the team, because it's coaches that are talking to me. When you do this with our team, would we do one for the whole team, or just one concept and have the team use it like something physical? Yes. It does not have to be personal. And the reason that answer is yes to a non-yes or no question is because it's what the team, it's what the coaches, what the players want. But ideally, the snap out of it could be the concept for it. And that is the collective response. So now momentum shifts, energy drops, frustration starts to spread. The team has a common cue that they know they're going to use. They can see if other people are using it. They can remind someone to use it. And now everyone knows what that signal means. A soccer player was telling me the other day, or a soccer coach, that they're going to put a green shoelace on all their cleats so they can look at that green shoelace. Now, that's a visual reset. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the snapping out of it reset. So now on this team level, everyone knows. So it means they're going to stop dwelling. They're going to stop carrying that last play into the next play. They're going to get back to their standard that the team set. They're going to get back to the next job. Now with this shared tool and everyone having it, the mental performance coach or the mental trainer, me, or whoever else we have, can still customize how the team's using it, can still work with the individuals and the slight tweaks that they need to do, what they're going to do with it, to make sure that this gets the most use and it has the most outcome. It has the best outcome that we want from it. But so across the team level, now every athlete is going to be using the snap out of it in some way, shape, or form. It is trained, it is coached, and it's not just something that they do once. It's something that we reiterate. So we tell the coaches about it too. So we make sure the coaches are on board with this. And hopefully, ideally, this is what the coaches actually came up with and the athletes. This is one that they wanted to do together and they thought about it. But that brings us to the third level. Yes, there's levels to this. Next level up, not just one athlete, not just one team. This is the organizational level. We're zooming out even more because this is now becoming part of the culture, our snap out of it. It's no longer just one athlete using it at games or practices. It's no longer just one team practicing it or using it. No, now athletes use this across teams, across coaches, across programs, across ages. So let's use a school, for example. They move from basketball into track into baseball. They can use the same cue to snap out of it. They know it's going to be interchangeable. It's just like that whole time they are deadlifting, and that deadlifting is getting stronger. They're not deadlifting one time and then doing single leg, just random other things that do not correlate at all. They are doing the same exercise, adding stimulus to it, training it, getting that movement pattern, not changing from one sport to the next, but using the same mental strength training for the entirety. So they hear the concept, they know it, and they implement it. Now, this does not mean that every coach or every program with every team program within there has to say it the exact same way or teach it the exact same way. But if there's a cumulative mental performance coach within the entire program, now it makes sense for them. There is consistency in it because that is going from one to the next. So then that program, the ages, they grow with it, they implement it, they use it. And that is where real impact happens. Because the athletes, they're moving through the program. They're getting physically stronger. They do the consistent strength training in the weight room. They should be able to do this for the mental side of the game as well. So they consistently get mentally stronger through the consistent mental training that is put in forth to their ears in each team, in each season that they are in each year. That is where the snap out of it now will look different, because if we do that for baseball or softball instead of basketball, well, maybe you're actually snapping your glove back on, but it is still snapping out of the last play. And that is why we want to reinforce it and use it, because ultimately these mental exercises, they should not be something that we want to think about. Just like if you get under a squat bar, you're not necessarily thinking about squatting after you've done it 1,000 times. You just know, bend the knees, bend the hips back, sit down, press into your feet, and stand back up. And you do that. But if we have one way here or one way there in that program and the next one in the next season, or maybe one of them doesn't even have it at all, now all of a sudden we don't have the mental training implementing, and we don't have the mental system being built. Yes, this is a system. It is not just a strategy. At the organizational level, it cross paths, and yes, it still then goes into that team level. And yes, it goes into that individual level, because at that individual level, snap out of it is specific to that one athlete, that they are training it, that they are using it to help them reset, to help them play at their peak, that their physical body can do, but sometimes that mind limits it. Now, at the team level, it helps the whole team understand. It helps the accountability piece, helps them move with it and use it. And then at the organizational level, now we're talking about the coaches, we're talking about the players, we're talking about the support staff. It becomes part of the program. Mental performance training is now a part of the program to help them build these skills, not just in sports, but have them stick for in life too, because that mental training will grow. So, as we recap here, I want us to really understand this that this mental training does not have to stay small. It does not have to stay to the one level, but we can start to put it in there and applying this snap out of it to any frustration, to any piece to return to that present moment, to stay locked in to a team use together and to an organizational use together, whether that's a school, a club, an athletic department, and then have that organizational level then support the team and support the individual. And that is when mental training starts to sweep and shape the culture. So if you are an athlete, test out this snap out of it. Try it, whether it's just snapping, whether it's if a different sport and you have something that you can snap on or off, whether it's doing the finger snap, whether it is snapping a rubber band or a wristband on your wrist, snap out of it of whatever thought we have and take control over the next moment in front of you and the piece, more importantly, that you can take control over within that next moment. And if you're a coach or a parent, think about how this can be instilled in your team across the team and how it would help out your team. And if you're the leader of that club, the school, the athletic department, think about what this would look like if you could build this, could implement this in your program, have an entire mental performance segment to have this language cross the ages, to have it cross the sports to help out. So these athletes are constantly implementing it, using it, and once again, not just using it for that sport and that specific situation, but for pieces in life too. If you're interested in more of this, check out a free training session one-on-one. Check us out for the free small group team parent coaching sessions. We'd love to do a 20, 30-minute session with the team. You can sign up. Otherwise, my name is Gabe Rummel, founder of the Athlete's Health, this mental performance playbook here, hopefully dropping this knowledge, this wisdom. Hopefully you can take it and implement it. Otherwise, I will catch you next week on our mental performance playbook. Peace.